People think the FBI and CIA do the same thing. This is a common belief. It is understandable. Both agencies serve to protect the United States. Both operate with a sense of authority and purpose. We see them in movies and on television. They are often portrayed as interchangeable heroes. But this perception is an illusion. The truth is far more complex. They are two distinct entities. Today, we are exposing the truth about America's most powerful agencies. The FBI has a long and public history. It was born in 1908. The country was changing. Cities were growing. Crime was becoming more organized. The nation needed a federal force to investigate crimes that crossed state lines. It was an idea born from necessity. The Bureau of Investigation, as it was first known, was small. It was a tool to enforce federal laws. Its power and its identity would grow over time, shaped by the nation's challenges and the men who led it. It was designed to be a visible symbol of federal law, an agency that worked within the system it was sworn to protect. Its most formative years came under one man, J. Edgar Hoover. He became director in 1924 and stayed for nearly 5 decades. He built the FBI into a modern professional organization. He established the world-renowned crime lab. He created the 10 most wanted fugitives list. He made the G-Man an American icon, a symbol of incorruptible justice. Hoover centralized power and cultivated a public image of unwavering efficiency. The FBI became synonymous with tackling the nation's most feared criminals. It was the force that stood against gangsters, bank robbers, and saboteurs during wartime. Hoover's legacy is complex, but his impact on the FBI's structure and culture is undeniable. The FBI's mission is clear. It is written in law. It is to enforce the federal criminal laws of the United States. It is to protect the nation from terrorist and foreign intelligence threats. And it is to provide leadership and assistance to other law enforcement agencies. This is a domestic mission. The FBI's jurisdiction is inside the borders of the United States. Agents investigate a vast range of crimes. This includes public corruption, organized crime, civil rights violations, and major thefts. After the attacks of September 11th, its focus expanded dramatically, making counterterrorism its #1 priority. When we think of the FBI, we should think of the rule of law. Every action an agent takes is governed by procedure. It is guided by the Constitution. To search a house, an agent needs a warrant. That warrant must be signed by a judge. It must be based on probable cause. This is not a suggestion. It is a requirement. The FBI's power is checked by the judicial system. Its goal is not just to stop a crime. It is to build a case that can withstand the scrutiny of a court of law. The final destination for the FBI's work is a courtroom. The process of an investigation is meticulous. It is a slow and careful gathering of facts. Agents conduct interviews. They talk to witnesses, to victims, to suspects. They collect physical evidence from crime scenes, a fingerprint, a strand of hair, a bullet casing. This evidence is sent to the FBI laboratory at Quantico, Virginia. There, scientists use advanced technology to analyze the materials. They match DNA. They identify substances. They reconstruct events. This scientific analysis provides objective facts. These facts become the building blocks of a criminal case. Pieces of a puzzle that must fit together perfectly. Training for an FBI agent is intense. It happens at the FBI Academy in Quantico. New agents spend months learning a wide range of skills. They learn firearms proficiency and defensive tactics. They learn how to conduct surveillance without being seen. They also spend countless hours in classrooms. They study law, ethics, and interrogation techniques. They are trained to be professional witnesses. Famous cases highlight this process. Ted Bundy, evidence collection and profiling. Mob takedowns, undercover work, and court-authorized wiretaps. The Unabomber, forensic and linguistic investigation. The CIA was born from a different world. It was created in 1947 by the National Security Act. World War II had just ended. A new kind of conflict was beginning. The Cold War, a war of ideologies, a war of influence, a war of secrets. The United States realized it needed a permanent, centralized agency to understand the intentions of its adversaries. It needed to collect intelligence from around the globe. It needed an organization that could operate where diplomats and soldiers could not. The CIA was designed to be the nation's eyes and ears in foreign lands, a silent warrior in a silent war. Its mission is fundamentally different from the FBI's. The CIA is not a law enforcement agency. Its primary purpose is to collect, analyze, and disseminate foreign intelligence. It provides this information to the president and senior policymakers to help them make decisions about national security. The CIA's work is about foresight. It is about understanding threats before they materialize. What are foreign leaders planning? What are their military capabilities? What are their vulnerabilities? The agency seeks to answer these questions. Its focus is exclusively external. By law, the CIA has no police or law enforcement powers inside the United States. This mission requires an extraordinary level of secrecy. The CIA's headquarters in Langley, Virginia, is a fortress. Its very existence was not officially acknowledged for years. The names of most of its employees, its budget, and the details of its operations are classified. This secrecy is not for dramatic effect. It is a matter of life and death. It protects the identities of its officers who work overseas. More importantly, it protects the foreign nationals, the assets, who risk their lives to provide information. If their identities were revealed, they could be imprisoned or executed. Secrecy is the agency's most vital shield. The culture of the CIA is defined by this need for discretion. Officers are trained to be ghosts. They often work under official cover, posing as diplomats or business people. They learn to blend in, to build trust, and to operate in complex and often dangerous environments. Their successes are rarely, if ever, made public. There are no press conferences to announce a successful intelligence coup. There are no public awards for a spy who prevents a conflict. The agency's victories are silent. They are the crises that do not happen, the attacks that are averted. The knowledge that gives leaders an edge in a dangerous world, well, that's the agency. The core of the CIA's work is the collection of intelligence. One of its most important methods is human intelligence, or HUMINT. This is the classic art of espionage. It involves CIA case officers recruiting and managing foreign assets. These assets are people with access to valuable information: government officials, military officers, scientists, ordinary citizens. The case officer builds a relationship with the asset. They assess their motivations, whether it be money, ideology, something else. This is a delicate and dangerous human interaction, built on trust and risk in the shadows of global politics. The agency also relies heavily on technical means of collection. It uses sophisticated satellites to photograph secret military bases. It intercepts foreign communications, from radio signals to digital messages. This is known as signals intelligence, or SIGINT. The CIA works with other agencies like the National Security Agency to gather and analyze this vast amount of data. This technological surveillance provides a broad picture of a country's capabilities and activities. It complements the specific, nuanced information that can only be gained from a human source. Technology can see the tanks, but a human source can tell you what the general is thinking. Beyond intelligence gathering, the CIA has another, more controversial role. It is authorized to conduct covert actions. These are secret operations designed to influence political conditions, military conditions, economic conditions abroad. The goal is to advance U.S. foreign policy objectives where open, diplomatic efforts are not feasible or effective. These actions are undertaken only at the direction of the president. They can range from propaganda campaigns to providing secret support to foreign political groups. This is the sharpest edge of the CIA's power, and it is the part of its mission that is most hidden from public view. Famous operations give a glimpse into this secret world. During the Cold War, the U-2 spy plane flew high-altitude reconnaissance missions over the Soviet Union, revealing its missile capabilities. The Bay of Pigs invasion was a failed covert action to overthrow the government of Cuba. More recently, the long and patient hunt for Osama bin Laden was a masterpiece of intelligence fusion. It combined technical surveillance, human sources, and relentless analysis. The final raid was a military operation, but it was guided by years of secret work by the CIA. These events are dramatic exceptions. Most of the agency's work remains, by design, completely unknown. Let us place these two agencies side by side. The differences become sharp and clear. First, jurisdiction. The FBI's authority is primarily domestic. It operates within the United States. The CIA's authority is foreign. It operates outside the United States. This is the most fundamental dividing line. An FBI agent enforces American law on American soil. A CIA officer gathers intelligence in other countries, where American law does not apply. One is a cop. The other is a spy. This distinction governs everything they do. Next, consider their powers. The FBI has the power of arrest. Agents can detain suspects, put them in handcuffs, bring them into the justice system. This is a core function of law enforcement. The CIA has no arrest powers. An agency officer cannot arrest anyone, foreign or American, at home or abroad. Their job is to collect information, not to enforce laws. This is a critical separation of powers. The idea of a secret intelligence agency with the power to arrest people on American streets is contrary to the principles of a free society. That power belongs to the FBI, which is subject to judicial oversight. Their accountability structures are also worlds apart. The FBI is part of the Department of Justice. Its work is subject to review by the courts. Evidence it collects can be challenged by defense attorneys. Its budget and general operations are subject to public congressional oversight. The CIA is an independent agency. It answers directly to the Director of National Intelligence and the President. Its oversight from Congress is conducted largely in secret by specialized intelligence committees. This is necessary to protect sources and methods, but it creates a different standard of accountability. The public knows far less about what the CIA does and how it does it. Finally, their public profile. The FBI is a public-facing organization. It has a press office. It issues wanted posters. The director often testifies in open congressional hearings. The public sees FBI agents at crime scenes, wearing jackets that clearly identify them. The CIA cultivates anonymity. Its officers work undercover. Its successes are secret. Its failures are often denied. There is no public relations campaign for the CIA. Its strength lies in being unseen and unheard. One agency operates in the daylight to provide reassurance and justice. The other operates in the darkness to provide warning and advantage. Before we continue, have you ever wondered what happens when these agencies disagree? Keep watching. For decades, a thick wall stood between these two agencies. The FBI handled domestic crime. The CIA handled foreign intelligence. The rules were clear. Information was not always shared freely between them. The culture of law enforcement rules of evidence, need for prosecution, clashed with the culture of espionage, need for secrecy source protection. This separation was designed to protect civil liberties at home. It was meant to prevent the methods of foreign spying from being used against American citizens. But this wall also created blind spots. The attacks of September 11, 2001, shattered that wall. The plot was hatched overseas, but it was carried out inside the United States. It was a threat that crossed the jurisdictional divide. Foreign intelligence failure, domestic security failure. In the aftermath, it became painfully clear that information held by the CIA might have helped the FBI, and information held by the FBI might have helped the CIA. The old model of strict separation was no longer viable in a world of globalized terrorism. Cooperation was no longer a choice. It was a necessity. In the years since, the lines have blurred. The FBI has placed more agents overseas in legal attaché offices at U.S. embassies, work with foreign law enforcement, track threats before they reach American shores. The CIA, in turn, has become more involved in operations that have a direct impact on homeland security. The two agencies now participate in joint task forces. They share intelligence through fusion centers. This collaboration has made the country safer, but it has also created new tensions. Who takes the lead when a threat has both foreign and domestic elements? This new era of cooperation raises difficult questions. It creates gray spaces where authority can be unclear. The challenges facing both agencies are constantly evolving. The modern world is a maze of new threats. Cybercrime is a perfect example. A hacker in another country can steal billions of dollars from American banks or shut down a hospital's computer system. Is this a foreign intelligence matter for the CIA, or is it a federal crime for the FBI? The answer is often both. The digital trail may begin overseas in the CIA's jurisdiction, but the crime itself occurs on American soil, in the FBI's jurisdiction. This requires an unprecedented level of real-time collaboration. Domestic extremism presents another complex challenge. A violent group inside the United States might be inspired by foreign propaganda. They might even receive funding. They might receive guidance from abroad. The FBI is responsible for investigating the domestic group. The CIA is responsible for tracking the foreign influence. Untangling these threads requires a delicate touch. It forces the agencies to share sensitive information while respecting the legal boundaries that separate them. The threat is a hybrid. The response must be as well. It tests the limits of their traditional roles and forces them to adapt. This blurring of lines brings the issue of civil liberties to the forefront. Surveillance is a necessary tool for both agencies. But in the digital age, the power of surveillance is immense. The collection of vast amounts of data, phone records, emails, internet activity, can be essential for stopping a terrorist plot. It can also infringe on the privacy of innocent citizens. Finding the right balance is one of the most difficult challenges for a democracy. The laws and policies governing surveillance must be constantly reviewed and debated to keep pace with technology. We must ensure that our tools do not become our masters. The fundamental questions remain. How do we hold secret agencies accountable? How do we ensure that law enforcement respects the rights of all citizens? These are not easy questions with simple answers. We have walked through two different worlds. One is a world of law, evidence, courtrooms, public justice. It is a darkness illuminated by the flash of a camera and the text of a warrant. Its purpose is to protect us from threats at home using the power of the law. The other is a world of secrets, whispers, shadows, clandestine operations. This is the world of the CIA. It is a darkness that is deep and often impenetrable. Its purpose is to protect us from threats abroad using the power of intelligence. To understand America, you must understand both. The FBI stands as a pillar of the domestic order. It reassures us that there is a system that crimes will be investigated and that justice can be served. The CIA stands as a silent guardian on the global frontier. It warns us of dangers gathering over the horizon. They are not rivals in a game. They are different tools, created for different tasks. Both are necessary, both are powerful, and both must be wielded with wisdom and restraint. Their existence reflects the complex reality of the world we live in, a world that requires both the rule of law and the collection of secrets. The distinction matters. It matters because it protects our liberty. The separation of foreign intelligence from domestic law enforcement is a firewall. It prevents the methods of espionage from being turned inward against a nation's own citizens. It ensures that the power to arrest and prosecute remains in the hands of an agency bound by the Constitution and overseen by the courts. When we forget this distinction, or when we allow the lines to blur without careful consideration, we risk the very principles our nation was built upon. Both agencies must be strong, but they must also remain in their proper lanes. In the end, they are bound by a single, solemn duty: to protect the United States of America. But they walk different paths toward that shared goal. One path is lit by the law. The other is shrouded in secrecy. Both are fraught with danger and moral complexity. Same mission, different darkness. The NSA, the Secret Service, the military intelligence units. Each plays a part in this vast and intricate system of security. If you want to know more about the invisible architecture that keeps America safe, let us know. The story of security is the story of choices, and we must always remain watchful of those who watch over us.